Yogurt is usually made by types of Lactobacillus and Streptococcus bacteria that are used to ferment the milk. On the other hand, different types of Lactobacillus, seen here as blue rod-shaped organisms, and Bifidobacteria, the Y-shaped organisms, are called probiotic bacteria, selected to provide added health benefits. Let's join these probiotic bacteria as they journey through the body. Inside the mouth, bacteria live on our gums, teeth, and tongue. Everyone has some degree of plaque or caries caused by various types of so-called bad germs or bad bacteria that grow rapidly and produce acid and enzymes from the foods we eat, especially sugar. The word bad really refers to the fact that these microbes have the ability to damage our tissues or cause inflammation, leading to us not feeling well. Toothbrushing removes sugars and many plaque bacteria, but within hours, the remaining ones have recovered and produced offspring. The reason that Lactobacilli and Bifidobacteria are often referred to as good bacteria is that they're generally regarded as safe and provide many benefits in our healthy day-to-day living, including dislodging or killing bacteria in the mouth. In most cases, the organisms in our food get mashed around in the mouth, then hit the roller coaster that takes them rapidly into our stomach. The stomach is not a particularly inviting place. Acid is produced in large quantities when we eat. This helps to protect our body and to break down food, and it kills many bacteria that we ingest, including many of the milk fermenters present in dairy products. However, some bacteria, such as these probiotic lactobacilli and bifidobacteria, can survive the acid by having a protective shield, shown here as a halo. This protection can be provided by milk and food, or by leaving the stomach rapidly with the liquid part of the meal. More than half of the world's population, and especially people in Asia, have a bacterium called Helicobacter pylori living in their stomach. Some strains of this bacterium are pathogenic. They're acquired from several sources, including contaminated water. This bacterium can burrow into the walls of the tissue and produce urease and toxin that damages cells, causing painful ulcers and sometimes cancer. Antibiotic treatment can cure some cases of Helicobacter colonization, but in others, the bacteria either resist the killing or return again once the treatment is over. Probiotic bacteria may help in the reduction of these Helicobacter, perhaps by attacking them with antibiotic-like weaponry called bacteriocins, or dislodging them. However, more research is needed to understand this process, while clinical trials will help determine which patients may benefit from ingesting certain types of probiotic bacteria. The dead organisms, along with the probiotic bacteria and surviving fermenter microbes, move towards the intestine, where they come into contact with bile salts, which kill many of the milk fermenter microbes. Many probiotic bacteria can resist these harmful effects, and so they survive and continue their journey. The next stage takes the bacteria down through tissue tunnels into the small intestine. This region of the body is usually over 30 feet or 9 meters in length. It has structures called villi and microvilli, which absorb nutrients from food and form a major defense against disease. The small intestine is home to billions of bacteria, the microbiota, including bifidobacteria and lactobacilli, which play a critical role in keeping us healthy through degrading food, counteracting bad bacteria, and modulating the immune response. Many questions need to be studied, such as what types of bacteria live here, how they communicate with each other and influence the way we feel, as well as whether probiotics can prevent or alleviate certain diseases. The body has incredible systems that monitor continually what is happening around it and what bacteria or molecules are passing through it. It can sense the good-natured organisms, but nevertheless secretes antibody, called secretory IgA, to home in on any bad bacteria or viruses that are in the vicinity. If the person ingests too many bad bacteria in one dose, for example in a contaminated meal, probiotic bacteria can work in conjunction with the intestinal defenses in such a way as to stop bad bacteria from damaging the host. In addition to secretory IgA, the body has enzymes like lysozyme, tiny proteins and killer cells that can ward off harmful bacteria. In the small intestine, goblet cells and epithelial cells produce mucus together with soluble factors called glycoconjugates that participate in the gut defenses. In the illustration here, however, the intestine has become inflamed. The process of inflammation and how probiotic bacteria appear to counteract it is not completely understood, but using two separate diagrams, we'll try to explain parts of the process. This diagram shows a cross-section of the mucosal epithelial layer and some M cells which are first to encounter bacteria and viruses and decide if they're good or bad. M cells transport the bacteria to underlying host defenses, including dendritic cells, macrophages, T and B lymphocytes, and plasma cells, all illustrated here. Bacteria are detected by antigen-presenting cells, such as dendritic cells, which migrate and meet T lymphocytes, which then mature into either a Th1 response, release of inflammatory cytokines such as IL-8, or a Th2 response, an allergic reaction, or regulatory T cells, maintenance of homeostasis. When the host detects probiotic or good bacteria, more regulatory T cells become activated, leading to more tolerance and homeostasis, indicative of TGF-beta and IL-10 production. Many bacteria live on the microvilli structures, and some move down the chasm where they come face to face with Paneth cells. Here, the bad bacterium approaches the Paneth cells that have granules containing high levels of natural antimicrobial compounds, such as substances called alpha-defensins and lysozyme. When the Paneth cells encounter the bad bacteria or toxic substances produced by them, they emit a geyser containing these granules. A problem for the host arises when a number of bad bacteria attach to the surface of the intestine in a biofilm, meaning a film of multiple layers of germs. The bacteria try to burrow a hole in the wall, putting the host at risk of more serious infection. Studies have shown that certain probiotic bacteria can influence this process by helping to re-establish or maintain a tight intestinal barrier and keep the bad bacteria from invading the host. Probiotic bacteria may multiply in the intestine during transit, and some of the population remain behind for a few days. But most of the probiotic bacteria continue their journey along with the food that's still being degraded. This process gives rise to useful substances for the host, such as short-chain fatty acids, as well as waste that needs to be removed. Like a crowd of wall-to-wall people, the bowel or large intestine is covered with over 500 different species or types of bacteria. Various gases are produced by the breakdown of food. Humans release several liters of gas every day. Depending on the food and which bacteria are active, the gases can be odorless or very potent. The bowel, or colon as it's often called, has very little oxygen, so most of the bacteria living here are anaerobic. The ability of bacteria to sense their environment is only now beginning to be understood. The organisms send out molecule-like sensors, then receive back information that can, for example, make them realize that danger lies up ahead. In this example, bad bacteria have caused a break in the wall of the colon. It's believed that probiotic bacteria can counter some damage to colonic tissue. While the mechanisms are not fully understood, we illustrate this here by recolonizing the area with good existing bacteria and ingested probiotics, leading to cessation of diarrhea. Just when it looked like the host had recovered, further down the colon, Salmonella bacteria are attacking the wall and multiplying faster than the bacterial inhabitants. The Salmonella must have been ingested in a previous meal. Now, several hours later, they're beginning to make the host very sick. In some cases of food poisoning, antibiotics, shown here as stealth bombers coming from the bloodstream, are used to try to kill the offending bad bacteria. Some antibiotics can be effective against Salmonella, but not viruses. Antibiotics are designed to attack the bacterial cell wall or inner components, but very few of them can tell the difference between bacterial types. Thus, they essentially carpet bomb the whole terrain and destroy good bacteria as well as bad. Some probiotic bacteria are not killed by the antibiotic, as they have an intrinsic resistance embedded in their chromosomal DNA. As human studies have shown, probiotic bacteria help reduce the duration of diarrhea. In doing so, the waste becomes resolidified and bowel movements return to normal. All journeys come to an end. Some probiotics remain on the outer anal skin, from where in women they may move to the perineal area and vagina that is only 4 centimeters away. But for the majority, it's goodbye gut and hello you know where.